worst British accents. You're right, Ryan. I'm sorry to disappoint you once more. But either way, what will not disappoint us is probably the series. We're heading over on Icebox, and it has been a banger so far.
Certainly has. I mean, I appreciate the English terminology there, absolutely. But yeah, definitely. It's been a banger of a series so far. Haven going all the way to overtime. I think fantastic testament to Alliance. But Fnatic able to come out on top. And now this is Alliance map pick. They should have a little bit more confidence here. They'll see if they can bring that overtime confidence towards their side as well. And the dismiss coming through from Juicy to open up the frags. Really good start for it.
Absolutely. A very strong start indeed. And as for switching over, don't be confused by what we're having there on the bottom. That's Magnum, obviously. But in the meantime, starting off strong is going to be the plan from Dome. As Firov still takes out Mystic, it's not going to be that easy over on their side. Yep, Dome is going to fall. And Yinsu has been performing strong.
Really solid for the team, and we saw him on the Sage last time around. Sage crucial here, but another one to come through as well, looking for another stand-up performance.
Strong stuff. I mean, coping with that HUD, but no worries. Look at this smile. Look. The guy's feeling it. And, you know, actually, as mentioned on the desk, 16 years old he is. And, you know, when I was talking to someone who was previously quite involved with Volvo Peak, he said he's probably, you know, a lad that has overall, he's enjoying life, and he has a very nice vibe around him. Obviously, he seems to be, quote, and this is a quote, a meme crackhead, quote ends, but absolutely lovely lad. And specifically, I think nowadays in the Valorant universe, if you are not an expert, if you don't have a master's degree on memes, you can't be in this universe anyway.
I think that's, yeah, that is true. I think that's in the T's and C's. I have read the small print, so I'll have to go back and double check that one. But we'll see if that one comes on through. Cadavra opens up the fragging again. Alliance doing a lot of work. Juicy dismisses around the corner into a waiting crosshairs, but Alliance still standing strong on the defense.
One enemy remaining.
Looker in hype, most likely. Have a quite decent time with this, as though the casualties over on the side of Alliance have been quite big. Looker has no awareness what's happening just around him. Underneath, Mystic is waiting with the barrel pointing in the direction of his teammate. And, well, he's realizing what's up. Mystic is not having him on the radar right now. He passes? He passed through it.
I'm surprised Looker let Mystic get away with that one. I'll be honest. I think that this is absolutely brilliant coming through from Mystic. The timing is impeccable.
No!
What a clutch.
I can't believe it.
What a clutch. I mean, that was phenomenal. It felt like a misstep from Alliance there that allowed that to happen coming through. Obviously, Looker probably... I feel like you should drop down in those situations. It's a 1 versus 1. You know you're coming up against Spectre v Spectre. Sure, maybe you think you have control of the ground, but it's just so unlikely that it's going to go your way in those situations. Very, very hard. Very, very hard to make that call, and Fnatic come out on top of the coin toss.
And this is the Red Bull clutch delivered to you. He was playing around. I mean, at this time, you know, it's always easy from our perspective to say, hey, look, you could have done it way better. But at the same time, it's a little odd that he thinks that he's spending so much of his valuable moments, of his valuable seconds over on the spot. Genuinely a bit surprised by that. But either way, like I mentioned, easier to say from the outside perspective. As in the meantime, Spike is going down. Dirk is finding hype. Early entry once more on the Fnatic side of things.
It looks like it's most likely that you're going to be seeing this 3-1 scoreline with the rifles here, with the money coming on board, as well as Durka having that Vandal. I feel like Alliance really don't have a hope here. They're just going to be looking for exits in this situation. I think pushing in, they are just going to be throwing it at the wall and seeing what they can do. Jisoo does have that half armor, so doesn't quite want to throw that one away, potentially. We'll see if they're able to find any exits here as Laka moves forwards.
Doesn't seem to be the case. Also no flank that would now come from the defender's spawn, which should lead into a flawless Fnatic. No real issue. Actually bringing everybody through. Nope, only Doma is the only one suffering from the spike, but no big deal, I would say.
Yeah, I mean, especially when you've got those Spectres in hand as well, more than likely going to be absolutely fine. If nothing else, you can have someone drop over one of those Spectres and buy something else if they don't have the money available. But at the top there, it's Mystic has got that Viper's Pit available. A very, very important ultimate in Icebox to be able to get that post-plant really quite secure. I mean, it's very, very few and far between the occasions where you see the retake happens through a Viper's Pit. You really need that Aldrone and the recon bolt online from the Sova, which sure, Fearoth can drop those in, but then you can't use them in the first half here, and that's the power of the Viper ultimate. Remove that drone, remove that recon bolt from the early round, and allow Durka to do stuff like that. Look at that, he's popping off.
Durka doing Durka things, that's for sure. And the Alliance are going to be fraud any point soon, I don't know. Well, a team that looked like a monolith previously struggled so far, and here the rifles can be so vital and successful. Hype's considering, he's having second thoughts on this, and obviously the call is clear. Lothar and his boys moving away. The only reasonable thing to do in the end as Fearoth makes a decision and make a call.
They're just gonna back off. They drop the Viper's Pit in the post plant, and what do you do from there? Well, the answer is very little. You're right. It's a safe situation, especially coming into the first rifle round of your half. You don't want to be giving away too much. Keeping 3 Phantoms, keeping the armor on board has so much value, and not only that, I mean, the cost of the barrier orb and the slow orbs as well, that's non-zero, right? Keeping those on board, that's a pretty huge economic advantage. When you look at what's left behind, I think Yinsu went down in the midst of that as well. That's not going to be too bad, but when you have Durka popping off like this yet again, I mean, we saw what he was doing on Haven. The guy's insane on Jet. Just taps 2 shots. Yeah, there we saw Yinsu going down earlier as well. So a fantastic set of frags coming through for Fnatic. Alliance now, they don't have the money to full buy into this round, but what they do have is those 3 rifles left over from that save.
A little break we have, very obviously. Who could have guessed? And I mean, the story of Fnatic is the thing that I find extremely fascinating, considering that Fnatic is a team that, you know, in the past challenger stages was always on the edge. Stage 1, you know, no big success. Always lost very early on against FPX, Wave, Ballista, so, you know, that chapter was closed early on. And the same goes for Stage 2. You know, Challengers 1 qualifier, they lost against exactly this team. Against a quintuple overtime on Haven it was. And, you know, Boaster was top rocking on Astra back then, and suddenly Challengers 2. So they beat Saw and Ovation, which is definitely a different sort of caliber, and they even lose against Ascent in the qualifier game. What is the end of the story, though, of this Challengers 2 back in Stage 2? They qualify. They beat Liquid in the European Challengers, lose to them in EMEA, but at the end of the day, the end of the story, success in Reykjavik, except Sentinels, of course. So it's always like they want to book that last chance ticket at the end of the day.
Well, Fnatic's story currently punctuated by headshot after headshot from Durka, landing another one. Getting a full stop to Lucker's round as Magnum finds yet another. These headshots are really, really strong coming through from Fnatic. They're finding these picks, they're disciplined on checking these angles, and now you've got to wonder, are Alliance thinking twice about picking Icebox into this team? I know I certainly would be. I feel like you just got to wonder, especially coming off of a save, just trying to keep as much economic strength as possible. Fnatic move over to this B site, and do you even want to go for this retake at this point? Do you want to try and keep some money? Because at the moment, Fnatic, they need some damage done. This is 2 rounds now in a row that they're looking good to keep 5 alive, but
there you go.
Even getting these trades, there's so much money.
Yeah, thanks for the jinx. Awesome.
But I had to do it, you know.
No worries. Surely this is a victory nevertheless for the side of Fnatic. Well, that worked as easy as possible, and the Joyce Fnatic squad wanders over to the side of B. Hey, can we have that? No worries. A pugnacious approach from Dirk. Once more, working according to plan. I like it. I love it. And while it seems like they feel extremely comfortable over on the map pick of their opponents.
The Killjoy advantage as well could prove to be pretty brutal here. I mean, you've got the Empress available on Yinsu, but Magnum's almost got that lockdown available. Viper's Pit not really anywhere to be seen for Hype at the moment. You need quite a little bit of presence there. And done with that res as well, just around the corner. So a really, really solid setup right now. Durka. Pugnacious gets punched in the mouth. That's with an F, as Lothar able to shut down that aggressive push.
Well, instead of the F, it seems to be more like a big L for Durka. No real chance at the end of the day. Firov is trying to gain at least a bit of information for his squad as they equalize the scenario. Not at all. Pardon that. Want to put it the other way around. Doesn't matter. Firov keeps on. 2 versus 5 it is. And it remains staunch in round number 6. Well, pretty staunch, to be frank. Actually, it seems like a flawless so far. Whilst Fnatic's individual duels are costly, at least Mystic is winning them. There you go. Nah, no worries. I'm going to continue because it's Mystic.
Fair enough. I mean, he landed 2. He landed 2 kills over onto Alliance. Pretty solid, to be fair, against a team that's kind of struggling economically. Fnatic going to be just fine. Mystic obviously racking up a couple more pips towards the pit. And we'll be trying to get that one back online for Fnatic's post plants. Already 4 rounds on the attack here on Icebox. A really, really good start for Fnatic, but they get cut short here in round number 6. Like you say, a valiant effort, but it just felt like they were losing to some over-aggressive peaks, I think, a couple of times there. Certainly the first pick onto Durka in the tubes just felt a little bit too overzealous. I feel like that's born of confidence, which, you know, fair enough. The guy is absolutely insane, but you've got to respect this other team. You've got to respect Alliance.
And there you go. That's obviously costing you your life. You talked about it. I mean, he's eager, he's young, and, you know, against a lot of teams, he can make it work. An absolute beast against most of them. The aggressive approach you often see from him is when he goes over in front of the gates of the A side. Cadaver now giving a lot of information to his teammates. And, well, they swap directions.
Hang on a minute. Magnum just killed Hype in the Viper's Pit over on A.
That's correct.
I mean, you said they swapped directions, but it looks like they're going to pull that 180, make a 360 over towards the A site.
Tony Hawk.
And bring the spike. Is that a Tony Hawk signature? I have no idea.
I have no clue.
There's one thing I love more than Valorant. It's references that neither of us know anything about.
30 seconds left.
I've never touched a skateboard in my life. I'm really not the
It didn't
type
go
of
well.
guy.
It did not go well.
Anything broken? Legs?
Never broken a bone.
Arms? Okay, cool. Me neither. Glad we're on the same page for that. Welcome to the No Broken Bone Club.
Milk Gang.
Seems like the calcium is working at least for one of the 2 parties here. And it seems like Alliance needs some stronger bones, because otherwise they might collapse easily. And that seems to be the case so far. As Fnatic prevail in the scenario once more. Another uncomfortable snake bite. A Doma knocking on the back of your head. Easy kills coming in. 5-2-2. And to be honest with you, the only reference I could probably do is something along the lines of Formula 1, but I don't know if even anyone watches that anymore.
I don't even know what that is. What is that? Formula 1? Nah, never heard of it.
Silverstone, Lewis Hamilton.
Oh, yeah, broom, broom. Yeah, now I get it. Okay, good stuff. 5-2 coming in for Fnatic at the moment. Their attack looking really very, very solid. I mean, as I said before, I feel like the only time they've come short is, well, 1 on the pistol, but 2, when they're getting a little bit over-aggressive and not really respecting Alliance's ability to frag out. This is against pistols now, and they're looking to rack up towards 6. I imagine that what we're going to see at the half is, I feel like it's an 8-4. I'm going to be honest, I feel like an 8-4 is on the cards here for Fnatic's attack. Just the way they're moving through. I think Alliance are going to find 1 or 2 more sneaky rounds, specifically 2, but I feel like that's where things are heading. If Fnatic keep playing it by the book, I don't know how Alliance are going to be able to take them down and stop them from moving in.
Yeah, at the same time, the thing that we have to mention is that the attack side is something most professional teams favor at this point on Icebox. In most cases, you see them how much they enjoy when they can set the pace and actually dictate what is going to happen on the server. What is happening on the server is a Durka with a triple. Man's feeling it. And he gets himself one frag after another. Quality kills, quality gameplay, quality Durka. And it seems like he's joining the ball club with Tom and Ryan being president and vice president there.
Yeah, certainly plenty of haircuts being dished out right now. The headshots thick and fast for Durka. I mean, look at this. I love this one tap. Look onto Juice. It just, I don't even think he knows he's hit that. That's insane. This guy is just brutal. I mean, they've got families. I don't know if anyone told him, but Jesus, goodness Christ. But it's phenomenal stuff coming through from the Fnatic attack. I think it's great aggressive position coming through from Durka. He's putting himself in these spots when he knows he's on fire and able to win out these trades. Fantastic credit to him and the rest of the team. I mean, Boaster Shaw sat at the bottom of the tables, but leading the team through Icebox, absolutely melting through it.
Ah, well. Seems like that doesn't work according to plan for the Fnatic side, but Doma's aware, goodness gracious. You talked about Mercy and, well, they have families. There you go. Doma's on it. Double secured by him. And Magnum has been sitting behind this wall for a while now. He's, well, seemingly the one who's holding that position for a bit, so nobody's getting flanked around. Making a move over to the B side seems reasonable. And if my eyes are not lying to me, that spot is quite easy to take at that point.
Magnum moves away, and now his watch has ended over the wall. Moves over towards B with the rest of the squad, and they're mounting up with the Viper wall, with the Sage barrier orb. I mean, good job, Fnatic. They find another kill, and now they're coming up against two. Sure, refrag, but you lose Fearoth, and now it's just Lothar.
And he's on it. Well,
okay.
Revive is absolutely crucial, but the Killjoy lockdown is coming up next. Mystic, you gotta get out of there, and that happens. It's costly for the Alliance squad because it's costing them time, but Hype's making a move around it. Most definitely he has been heard, and once that wall goes down, Magnum might just swing and find the opponent's Viper. As I say that, that's a brilliant little swarm. Oh, but this is the problem. He's sneaking around them, and he's waiting patiently to find one, and now Mystic just gotta play it. Time is his friend, but the Snakebite is gonna not get him out of there. He actually made it out of there. Does he find the kill? No, he doesn't. And Hype brings it home. Looked close, looked tight, but should be working in favor of Alliance. It is, but by how much? A second.
Okay, fair enough. That's a second's actually quite a big margin there, but fantastic for Lothar to be able to get that one tap dirt nap and bring a compatriot back in as well. I feel like I mean, obviously, excellent push coming through from Hype on that Viper to move on through. Has plenty of time here. Taps it, brings that trade in. Mystic didn't want to invest that Viper's Pit earlier on. It looked like Fnatic had that round signed, sealed, delivered.
Yep.
But it all changed in the blink of an eye. And those are the cheeky rounds that I think are going to contribute to this 8-4 half that I'm predicting for Fnatic. I feel like they're going to come back into this one, put it to the back of their mind, say, you know what, we've got the Viper's Pit, we've got this Hunter's Fury on the cards. There is very little way that these post plants can be contested. Sure, we lost out on that Killjoy lockdown, but we've still got so many tools in our belt.
Just starting off good, but Lothar,
take it back,
as well as Cadaver, are finding great stuff over there. And while everybody from Fnatic gets pushed, Boaster the last man standing. Recon Bolt comes in 10 seconds, checks everything around the site. And can you play mind games against 4 individuals? That is the question.
Well, if anyone can do it, it's Boaster, right? This guy is the brain box of Britain and the IGL to end them all. Iconic in the role, such a firecracker when it comes to that position, able to marshal the troops so effectively. The question is, can you pull it off for the rest of the squad? Finds one, 70 HP, so not a lot more to do. 35 seconds, and it feels like he's just looking for frags here.
30 seconds left.
I mean, he could potentially play it on retake with his Hunter's Fury, but at the same time, is he not going to be pushed beforehand? If he eliminates Lothar, then this could be insanely possible due to the fact that
Caught
you
shoulder
can
there.
only see them from 2 positions, but no chance. Boaster falls. And you remember that great Game of Thrones reference you did earlier? It was a really good one. But you did a mistake. You did a mistake. You should
I
know
mean, he
that
didn't die.
No, the watch never ends. You said his
Well, no, but
watch
that's what
ended.
they say. Yeah, because now that his watch has ended, is what they say when the Night's Watch knights die. They say, and now their watch has ended.
Yeah, but don't they usually? Isn't it like on an infinite basis? Don't they always unlimited time sign for that contract?
Oh, it depends if you're talking about. Okay, look, like, we could get into the specifics of lore of the Night's Watch and Game of Thrones, or we could talk about the alt stack right now for Fnatic. And quite frankly, I think that's what most people are going to be looking at here, because you've got the res, you've still got that Viper's Pit and Hunter's Fury. Sure, you drop that round, you're coming up against that, and they are going to invest the Hunter's Fury there. They come up against that pit, and with Boaster going down, they lose the Hunter's Fury. Oh dear. The res
this
coming
is
in,
dangerous.
sure, but you've already lost the ult, and you've now invested another.
Well, Alliance says you know nothing. You're Jake, and seemingly he's at least back alive. Well, best Jon Snow impression in Valorant so far. Firov, in the meantime, finds himself Dirk. That was on the edge. Still comes around and finds that kill in success. But Boaster absolutely obliterated the crossfire on point, and only 2 soldiers remain over on the Fnatic side.
Goodness me. 2 players remain, you're right. And I'm going to have to readjust my prediction. I think somehow Fnatic are going to lose 7 in this half. It looks like they've just completely thrown their early rounds out of the window. But Doma still playing. You've still got the heals. You've still got Mystic with the Viper's
30
Pits.
seconds
If you
left.
get into a post-plant, this is a different story. Doma can draw players over towards this A site. There's a chance that you can get that plant down on the B site, get that up, and get the Viper's Pit to control the ground.
Last player standing.
Weird. I mean,
Last round before the switch.
this looks like a better comeback than Pierre Gasly, but it's absolutely Alliance succeeding in this. And, you know, succeeding in the second part of this first half, don't get me wrong. The initial few rounds, I would have signed it. I would have said, John, give me the paper, 8-4 Fnatic, boom, done, no worries. And right now, Alliance approach, the way they have changed it, because you have to say, a thing they haven't adjusted really is the aggressiveness. Alliance is one of the more aggressive teams in Europe. You saw what happened in front of the gates of the B side. Very obviously, that territory is something they wanted for themselves. And Yinsu, he's realizing what's just coming around. He's not going to be attacked by the drone, but he's going to be taken up by Boaster. That was a wallbang coming in.
Oh, speaking of it, 2 kills immediately answer there for Alliance as the take starts to come on through, looking for a little bit more openings, but Fnatic denied again at every turn. Boaster next to fall. The knives from the sky get taken down as Doma lands the headshot now, finds another one with Mystic. And they can move away. It's a repeat of last round, but there's less players standing in their way and no Viper's Pit on A to stop them this time.
Poison orb emitting.
I have the spike.
And if it will be tied up or Fnatic taking a tiny lead, this is the question for now. Patient
Poison's
approach from the big orange. But they haven't fully decided yet. As it though seems, as Doma marches over on the site, it's a clear one. It's a very clear one that they move over on A. And Lucker, does he hit the right timing? No, not necessarily, but here comes the pit. It's all in favor of their side. And in the meantime,
remaining.
Hype has been taken out. Pardon, has been taken out by nobody so far. This is the right one, though, from
nice.
Doma. As I said, it pretty much jinxed it. Well done, Zescht. And so only Doma remains on the high ground. He might just find the headshot onto Lucker.
6 seconds.
Or does he? 4 seconds and taken out midair. So we're tied. And that 8-4 didn't go according to plan.
I don't know what you're talking about. No one ever said 8-4. No one's ever said that before in their lives. And if they did, they would be a big silly Billy. But either way, no, absolutely fantastic for Alliance in the second half of that first. second quarter, let's go with that, to be able to really come back swinging, holding these angles, making sure that they're getting good trades. I mean, that first pickup by Boast, it felt like the old Fnatic from the start of the half, but they were immediately echoed and answered. The angles being taken just wasn't as coordinated as we're used to seeing from Fnatic. But now it's their chance to defend. It's their chance to try and hold that. Retake's incredibly strong with the Killjoy lockdown. You've got, obviously, all of the tools available on the rest of these agents, but they're mirrored almost exactly by Alliance. The main difference being that lockdown. The question is, what value can Yinsu find on this Reyna, looking for those entries? They talked about it, I think, earlier on the desk, how Reyna is a little bit of a selfish player, a selfish agent. You have to be going for these plays to win for yourself. You have to get these kills, get these frags, get these openings, and that is how you deliver value to your team. Yinsu needs to step up here.
I couldn't have said it any better there. And it's all right if you have a player who's absolutely going nuts in those games. Sure, let him do it. I'll be more than fine with it. If he's just sometimes lacking, I'm not a fan of it. But I would definitely say Yinsu is one of those individuals that you can just let him play Reyna and he's doing his job. Don't worry about it. Now, as the spike is going down, though, Fnatic got to do their job, and they seem to make it work to some degree. Magnum swinging wide. Mystic does the same. The flank seems to be working at the moment. But how much attention do they pay to him? Not too much anymore. But it is Kadafra. Got the Sheriff in his hand, but the Fnatic side of things are already diffusing. You gotta be quick! But Mystic's coming around just in time. 7-6, and Fnatic are switching to a side where they don't feel too comfortable at, to be frank. This is just considering a rather low sample size. Nevertheless, I'm just excited to see what this somewhat more aggressive team unit of Alliance can deliver us now as they can set the pace.
That, to me, didn't feel like Fnatic were coordinating. I mean, it's a pistol round, so you kind of can't read too much into it. But it didn't feel like coordination from Fnatic. It felt like a good flank happened, and the Fnatic backlines just won those trades, won those duels in the meantime. So they've still yet to show me that they're back on form from the start of the first half. And now's their chance to do it. I mean, keep those SMGs in hand. You got Boaster and Doma looking to really quite effectively bonus. But you've got Kadavra, who's dropped onto that Marshall, really looks to invest a little bit into this round. Has the heal invested as well. Yinsu can't quite land the shot, Doma wins the trade.
But he would have needed to done that. Dirk is somewhat lucky, somewhat glad that he survived that. And Fnatic is taking a lot of room already. You see them in front of the gates of the A side. They don't care too much about it. Okay, moving over. B seems to be quite clear as a target for the Alliance side of things, and as they try to obtain a bit of ground, Kadafra with a brilliant headshot, but Dirk got the reply. The antidote delivered by the Finn, and no real option for the Alliance side of things. 8-6, working decently for the Fnatic side, but now we know the big guns come in, and this is where it gets serious.
Absolutely. I mean, Durka absolutely nails that clean up there. Landing those headshots. I feel like that's the Durka special, the triple kill with the fadeaway on the last one. I mean, look at that double. Goes in for the trade, 14 bullets, gets a couple of shots off and dashes immediately with the tailwind. I'm going to coin the Durka special on that one. Fantastic positioning coming through from this guy. Knows how to play against these ecos. And with the buys that they were securing in the last round, they bring that Vandal up onto Doma. Boaster, interestingly, on that Marshall as well, but full rifles from Alliance. They need to try and punch through here. They need to be very, very punchy. They've invested in 3 Phantoms, but they're against full armor, so that might come back to bite them.
Clover backing off, as they pretty much seem to exchange tags. It is Magnum who need to try to dodge that dart. No chance. And again, it is Alliance in a good spot with a good chance and a good opportunity. They've even taken more and more damage again and again, and they haven't really found themselves successful. Specifically, as we're talking about the position of Durka, that's going to be interesting. If they really change the position, do they go for the B side or not? Nope, not intrigued.
They have got to worry about the Killjoy utility. I mean, Magnum, up close with the Spectre, sure. It's being able to move through this early phase of the push.
30 seconds left.
That's going to be fairly easy. It's when they get up close that Magnum's going to be looking to shut it down. Boaster with the Marshal, a little bit less of a threat, especially with that wall.
Magnum's waiting. 15 more seconds. This spike has to go on the ground, by the way, in case you didn't notice. It's still not where it's supposed to be, and they keep delivering pressure. But at the end, it should be still working fine.
Nice.
Oh, that was close, but it was not the spike carrier. Unfortunate for Dirk, he's trying his best, but that would have been amazing, but didn't happen. No worries. Alliance are coming closer and closer to the tie. But the weapons should now end up in the hands of Fnatic, shouldn't it?
I mean, that to be fair, was a massive bonus round for Fnatic. I mean, even coming off the first round, they didn't buy full SMGs into the second. They reinvested there, and now they can look to bring everything back into this round. I think Doma obviously investing a little bit more than everybody else. And actually, they might be a little bit down on their luck, but on the opposing side, Alliance, they're on a Marshal, they have a Sheriff as well. Nice for Durka, so that's why they can invest like that. All 5 of them not quite finding the kill, but that's going to work. And Boaster gets a second as well.
My goodness. I mean, you talked about a big bonus. The big bonus seems to end quite swiftly. All the money they have stacked up in their wallets, put on the table, well invested. And you see the screams coming in from Doma. I can imagine what he says, but I guess it's not too family friendly. 9-7 indeed. And that's proper stuff coming from the squad of Boaster, who once more send in Dirk to be the leading figure, the spearhead of the Big Orange. At the same time, though, not the same impact we saw from him on Haven. But is that something I can really critique? Nope, not really, because it's not always easily measured by ACS or anything.
No, it's very tricky to use those metrics to actually portray the value that a player brings to a squad. So you got to pay attention. You got to keep your eyes on the screen and don't go anywhere certainly now, because it's 9-7 between Fnatic and Alliance, with Fnatic 1-0 up in their series to progress further in the upper bracket, and people are expecting Fnatic to win here. In terms of those predictions, it's almost unanimously Fnatic. For most of the people that I've spoken to over the last couple of days, people are just saying, yeah, Fnatic should be able to nail this one. The fact that Alliance are going this close to them gives me hope. If they drop down to the lower bracket, for those Alliance fans out there, you know, James Banks, I'm sure he's got his eyes on the screen as well. He's going to be happy that they've really put in a good fight, but they're not out of it just yet, and you cannot count this team out.
Oh, most likely, I imagine James is right now in the gym or something, but he's definitely watching or listening or paying attention to that. At the same moment, Magnum is taken down too. That's Yinsu as well as Lothar, and the rest of his squad simultaneously find all the kills. Well, it looked like they set themselves up, you know, prepared the papers, just ready to hold the speech, and in the meantime, the entire stage clashed and, well, broke down. Brilliant stuff from Fnatic, not allowing them anything at that point in time. And what I enjoy way much more than one player standing out is the majority being somewhat on equal numbers. From Durka to, I think, Doma, the top 4 players, all somewhere between 250 and 200. And this is a sign of great work as a team. Everybody can step up when needed. When a side is attacked, you don't need to rely on one individual. That's something I love about Fnatic, to be frank.
Keeping it tight, in lockdown. Tail wins the updrafts, the Jets moving around, and the Harrier jump gets stronger for Fnatic as Durka lands the dirty headshot and plays behind the crate.
How is he alive? How does he keep on dodging those bullets? The second kill he finds. Fearov can read and smell it. He almost rather dodging those bullets and moves away. And that prerequisite condition for getting the spike down, well, in this round, it is called the Viper's Pit.
Excellent, excellent dart there.
Counter.
They haven't even got the spike planted at this point. Lothar looking to try and finally indenture it into the site. The drop down from Boaster. Look at that heads up play. Goodness me.
Yeah, but it's... No, they got him. And this brings it down to only Fearov, but look what he has in his hands. Technically speaking, he could still use his ult. He's not going to do it. He's not even going to be able to do that. And this brings us number 11. Fnatic keep on fighting. Quiet. Well, can you hold on a second? I gotta be disrespectful. Yeah, keep on defusing now. There you go. Obviously, this is for the Viper's Pit.
It's going to be for the Viper's Pit, but not only that, swapping out for the Phantom. Crucially, with Viper's Pit coming online, you don't want those Tracers to be flying out. An excellent swap. I feel like it's, a little bit of a micro play, and that is what sets teams like Fnatic, players like Mystic apart from the rest of the world in their skill. And what sets Durka apart is that his crosshairs are magnetized to heads. It's insane.
Yeah,
this guy is nuts.
I saw that. Well, maybe at the same time, Mystic just liked the skin. And he could have afford to buy one. But your point is probably the absolutely best reasoning for doing so. It's those tiny things. You're absolutely right here, John. Those make the difference. You don't want those Tracers, as mentioned. And there you go. No Tracers. Mystic is putting it out. Even the Killjoy ult is coming in.
Just trying to lock everything down. Boaster opens up strong. And now the spike just has to go all the way, and Durka... if there's one person you want on this flank, it's Durka. He's going to have heard that. He knows. He knows. Oh, no. Hype, no. Get out where you still can. Oh, goodness me. I feel like he might have an inkling that someone's there, actually.
Stay down.
Yep.
Doesn't matter.
Exactly. You might know, but it's Durka at the same time, so all your knowledge is not helpful. He's moving away at the right time. This is really something that I love about Durka. He knows when he has pretty much maximized his opportunities with the room he has gained. And he could have stayed there, obviously, and be that single gladiator in the arena, but no, reasonable. Moves backwards, says, I found the kill. Man disadvantage again on the Alliance side.
There.
Brings it back into control,
30
moves
seconds
through,
left.
and... They're moving into the Viper's Pit. Doma playing forwards in it. Should be able to spot the barrel.
What?
First, Feroth wins the trade. Gets the first pick and opens up.
Oh, Mystic, he's falling as well. This means the pit is going down, and suddenly everyone's going down. Fearoth and Kadavra HP-wise don't look ideal, but Magnum waits, knows there's one around the left-hand side, and he's going to find it before that spike's going down. So at that point, just dance around it. Get that boogie with him, but just wait until your teammate is in safety. That is the case. Number 12 and Kadavra falls in the end. Fnatic are playing it by the book at that point.
Fantastic stuff from Fnatic. They invested 2 ults. To be fair, they dropped both the Killjoy lockdown and the Viper's Pit on that round. Fair enough. You want to put yourself on match point. You know you're going to be able to get another one up before the game ends, even in the worst case scenario. But not only that, you know you're breaking the economy from Alliance. Investing those ults, sure, it may seem like overkill, but what that does is give you this round with the advantage. You're coming up against a Bulldog, a Marshal, and a couple of Guardians. This is not ideal coming through from Alliance. A Fnatic looking to close it down. Durka starts strong.
And there you go. At this point in time, they say, I got enough of that. Durka is pushing through. He's even getting that spike. After the electrifying Hunter's Fury, Fnatic got enough of your shenanigans. Jusu, I mean, it's time to use your ult, I would say. Could definitely do so, but Durka says, I'm having 0 off that. Alliance delivered us a brilliant and pretty much exciting fight, but no chance at the end of the day. Excellent game, excellent success, and Fnatic, well-deserved victory at the end of the day.
Absolutely. They were in control of that game, I think, almost from start to finish. A little bit weak, maybe, sure, at the end of their attacking half, but their defense was clean. They used everything where they needed it to. They were phenomenal on their sort of micro adjustments coming on through on that defense as well, which you spoke about. Icebox, last time these two teams faced, again, it was Haven and Icebox. It went quad overtime. Alliance were able to take that one on Haven, but on Icebox, Alliance won 13-6. So Fnatic turn around, deliver a 13-7. Phenomenal turnaround, obviously, since April, so a lot has changed. Roster swaps have come on through, but still, that's the history between these two teams. And Alliance, they're now busted down to the lower bracket. They've still got one more chance, though, and as I said, they should be proud of the performance they were able to put up. When you're coming up against someone like Durka, I mean, fair enough. You know, it's just going to be a bad day. Alliance with another chance. And we're going to see Fnatic sail on through.
Alliance proved what kind of quality they are made of, specifically considering that this is not a full 5-man roster that is already signed this way. Still, Jusu delivering brilliantly most of the times, just seemingly not his day. But what you can do is make one of those players their day. Well, it's time for you to obviously vote for your MVP of this game. The options are simple. The options are easy. Durka, Doma, Mystic, you guys decide. Who do you think have deserved this little trophy and medal at the end of the day? Well, I would pretty much actually go for Durka. It's a classic. It's the easy choice. At the same time, the kind of individual plays from Doma and Mystic have been excellent and exceptional. I think those are the best 2 words to describe the entire performance of Fnatic in this best of 3.
Yeah, no, it's been fantastic, although I am a little bit peeved there. Justice for Boaster, I think the value that he brings to the roster is absolutely insane. I'm sad not to see him on the MVP list, but there you are. Maybe one day I'll get my wishes. But yeah, no, fantastic strategy coming through from Fnatic. It feels like they were locked and loaded, ready to go in every situation. So yeah, credit to them. This is deserved, you're right. I am happy to see them move through. People are predicting Fnatic to be able to take this whole thing in this qualification phase, and they've just shown us why. Sure, Haven, not the greatest. They showed a little bit of weaknesses. There are a couple of weaknesses, a couple of openings, but when it comes down to it, they go over to Icebox and dominate, and that's the Fnatic that people were expecting to see here today.
Absolutely, this was the Fnatic we all expected when we did our predictions. But we are about to predict you, well, that there's going to be a break happening. I'm 100% right. I am aware of that. But before we go, enjoy your next break with our song of the week. It's Kashmir with Ready to Love. So get ready for those good old dancing cats.